The emergency session of the Galactic Council was unlike anything in recorded history. Representatives from every known species filled the crystal halls of Nexus Prime, but this time they came in fear rather than celebration. The Void Devourers had arrived at the galaxy's edge, and 3 frontier worlds had already gone silent. Admiral Quan paced nervously in the Vorthak delegation area. His people's mighty fleet had tried to engage the Void Scouts and simply vanished. No wreckage, no distress signals, just empty space where proud warships had been. Ambassador Hana sat quietly with the Zelrani delegation, watching the chaos around her. Trade routes were collapsing as species pulled back to defend their core worlds. The careful balance of galactic civilization was crumbling. Elder Day stood at the center of the hall, his ancient voice carrying over the frightened crowd. The situation is worse than we first believed. Our scouts report that the Void Devourers don't just destroy matter, they erase it from existence. Worlds they touch leave no trace they ever existed. Counselor Jin slammed his hand on his delegation's table. Then we need to unite our fleets. Every species contributes ships and warriors for a combined defense. With what weapons? Admiral Quan demanded. My best ships couldn't even touch them. They exist in dimensions our technology can't reach. The hall erupted in panicked discussion. Some species wanted to flee to the far side of the galaxy. Others demanded military action. A few suggested trying to negotiate with the Devourers, though no one could explain how to communicate with entities that consumed reality itself. Dr. Minho sat with the Kaloran delegation, remembering his journey into the quiet realm. He looked at the communication device Engineer Nara had given him, wondering if humanity was watching this chaos unfold. The answer came sooner than he expected. The hall's lights dimmed suddenly, and new holographic displays appeared throughout the chamber. The same message played from every projector simultaneously. Citizens of the galaxy, we bring urgent news regarding the current crisis. The speaker was President Hoon, a human leader Dr. Minho hadn't met during his visit to the Hidden Realm. He spoke clearly and calmly, his words reaching every corner of the hall. For 3 centuries, humanity has watched over galactic civilization from the shadows. Today we emerged to stand beside you in your darkest hour. The hall fell completely silent. Every representative stared at the human addressing them. The entities you call Void Devourers have been humanity's concern for decades. President Hoon continued. We have studied them, fought them, and learned how to defeat them. But victory requires all of us working together. Elder Day found his voice first. Humanity? You're supposed to be extinct. President Hoon smiled sadly. Death was never our fate, Elder. We chose a different path, one that led us to become the galaxy's hidden guardians. The displays around the hall changed, showing real-time images of human installations throughout the galaxy. Massive space stations materialized from dimensional folds. Fleets of advanced ships emerged from hidden bases. Entire worlds that had appeared empty suddenly revealed thriving human civilizations. Admiral Quan stared in amazement at the display showing his home system. A human station hung in space not far from the Vorthak homeworld, completely invisible until now. How long? Have you been there? He whispered. 247 years, President Hoon replied, somehow hearing the quiet question. We've been your neighbors all along, Admiral, watching, protecting, helping when we could. Ambassador Hana stood up in her delegation area. The mysterious supply drops during the trade war famine, that was you? Yes, President Hoon confirmed. Along with the medical supplies during the Red Plague, the technical specifications that led to your clean fusion breakthrough, and countless other small acts of assistance. The revelation sent shockwaves through the hall. Species after species realized that humanity had been secretly helping them for centuries. Counselor Jin's voice was shaky when he spoke. Why? Why help us while remaining hidden? Because, President. Hoon replied, we learned that open cooperation often fails due to pride and politics. Hidden assistance allows species to feel proud of their own achievements while still receiving the help they need. Dr. Minho activated his communication device. President Hoon, this is Dr. Minho of the expedition team. How do we fight the Void Devourers? Excellent question, Dr. Minho, President Hoon replied. The answer requires understanding what the Devourers actually are. The displays changed again, showing detailed scans of the entities attacking the galaxy's edge. They looked like patches of moving darkness, but the human analysis revealed something more complex. The Void Devourers exist across multiple dimensions simultaneously, President Hoon explained. They consume matter by disconnecting it from the quantum foundations of reality. Traditional weapons can't touch them because they operate outside normal spacetime. Fleet Commander Mira appeared on the displays next to President Hoon. She was younger, with the bearing of a military officer. Our dimensional technology can reach them, Fleet Commander Mira explained, but the Devourers adapt quickly to new attacks. Stopping them requires synchronized strikes across multiple dimensions at the same time. Admiral Kwan understood the tactical problem. Coordination across dimensional barriers. That's beyond anything our communication systems can handle. Which is why, Fleet Commander Mira continued, we need to combine human dimensional technology with the galaxy's existing military forces. Our weapons can hurt them, but we need the numbers and diversity that only full galactic cooperation can provide. President Hoon stepped forward in the hologram. We propose a joint defense fleet, human dimensional weapons combined with the best ships and crews from every species, coordinated through our quantum communication network. The hall buzzed with discussion as representatives considered the proposal. It was unprecedented, not just cooperation between species, but integration of technologies that most of them didn't understand. Elder Day raised his staff for attention. What do you need from us? Trust, President Hoon replied simply. For centuries, we've earned your trust through secret assistance. Now we ask you to extend that trust to open partnership. Over the following hours, the details were worked out. Human dimensional weapons would be installed on ships from every species. Human communication officers would coordinate with existing military commands. Most importantly, human installations throughout the galaxy would serve as supply and repair bases for the joint fleet. Admiral Kwan found himself working directly with General Sung, a human military commander who knew more about Vorthok's ship capabilities than Kwan himself did. You've been watching us that closely? Admiral Kwan asked. We've been protecting you that closely, General Sung corrected. Your people are brave warriors, Admiral. But bravery alone won't stop the Devourers. The first joint engagement came sooner than expected. Void Devourer scouts reached an inhabited system 3 weeks after the alliance was formed. The combined response fleet included ships from 12 different species, all coordinated through human quantum communication networks. Captain Sora commanded a hegemony cruiser that had been fitted with human dimensional weapons. She watched in amazement as the previously untouchable void entities suddenly became vulnerable to their attacks. Direct hit, reported her weapons officer. The Devourer is destabilizing. Across the fleet, similar reports came in. For the first time since the crisis began, the Void Devourers were taking damage and retreating. But the real test came 6 months later, when the main Devourer force reached the galaxy. Thousands of the reality-consuming entities swept toward populated systems, threatening to erase entire civilizations. The final battle took place across multiple star systems simultaneously. Human dimensional weapons struck at the Devourers' quantum foundations while conventional forces targeted their manifestations in normal space. The coordination required perfect timing across impossible distances. Fleet Commander Mira stood on the bridge of the human flagship Silent Guardian, coordinating the largest military operation in galactic history. All units report ready, came the voices of commanders from dozens of species. Dimensional weapons charged, quantum communication networks synchronized. Remember, Fleet Commander Mira broadcast to the entire fleet. The Devourers exist across multiple reality layers. Each strike must hit all layers simultaneously, or they'll simply shift to the undamaged dimensions. The battle lasted 18 hours and involved over 10,000 ships. When it was over, the Void Devourers had been pushed back beyond the galactic rim, their ability to enter normal space severely damaged. In the aftermath, The galaxy found itself forever changed. Humanity had emerged from the shadows as acknowledged protectors and partners. The Defensive Alliance evolved into the first true galactic government, with humans serving not as rulers but as mediators and guardians. Ambassador Yuri, speaking at the first session of the new Galactic Alliance, summed up humanity's position. We chose the shadows not because we feared the light, but because we knew someone had to watch over those who walked in it. Now you know we're here. The question is, what kind of galaxy will we build together? Dr. Minho, now serving as the Alliance's chief archaeologist, often looked back on that first expedition to find the missing humans. The warning sirens on the Void Whisper started screaming at exactly 14:37 ship time. Captain Hyunwoo jumped from his chair as red lights flashed across the bridge. Engineer So Young's fingers flew over her control panel, trying to understand what was happening. Power grid failure in sections 7 through 12, So Young shouted over the noise. The quantum field generators are losing stability. How bad is it? Hyunwoo demanded. Bad. The stealth field is fluctuating wildly. I am trying to compensate, but the power drain is too much. Dr. Chang-min ran to his science station. His screen showed their quantum field strength dropping rapidly. Captain, if we lose the stealth field completely, the humans will be able to see us. How long do we have? Maybe 2 minutes before total field collapse, So Young replied. Sweat was running down her face as she worked. I can try to reroute power from other systems. Do it, Hyunwoo ordered, whatever it takes. The ship shuddered as So Young redirected power from life support, artificial gravity, and communication systems. The lights dimmed and the air became thinner, but the quantum field generators kept failing. Stealth field at 30% and falling, Chang-min reported. 25%, 20%. Jae-hyun was monitoring Earth communications from his station. Captain, human radio telescopes are already detecting something. I am hearing reports of an unusual electromagnetic signature in our exact location. 15% field strength. Chang-min continued his countdown. 10%, 5%. Field. Collapse in 10 seconds, So Young announced. I cannot stop it. The bridge fell silent except for the countdown timer. Everyone watched the main screen, which showed Earth growing larger as their orbit continued. In a few seconds, human telescopes would be able to see their ship directly. Field collapse. Now, Chang-min said quietly. For 4 minutes and 37 seconds, the Void Whisper was completely visible. Every human telescope, radar station, and satellite that happened to be looking in their direction could see a kilometer-long alien spacecraft orbiting their planet. So Young worked frantically to restart the quantum field generators. Come on, she whispered to her equipment. Emergency power flowed through backup circuits. Slowly, the stealth field began to stabilize. Field strength returning, Chang-min reported. 20%, 40%, 60%. Field fully restored, So Young announced as the sirens finally stopped. The bridge lights returned to normal, and everyone could breathe easily again, but the damage was done. For almost 5 minutes, humanity had seen clear proof that aliens existed. Jae-hyun was already monitoring Earth's reaction. Captain, human communication traffic just increased by 400%. Every observatory that saw us is contacting others. They are sharing data and photographs. What kind of photographs? Minhe asked. Jae-hyun put some of the images on the main screen. Despite the distance, human cameras had captured clear pictures of their ship. The Void Whisper looked dark and threatening against the star field behind it. These images are very detailed, Chang-min observed. Human optical technology is better than our intelligence reports suggested. That is not the worst part, Jae-hyun continued. Listen to what they are saying about the pictures. He played audio from Earth's communication channels. Human voices spoke excitedly about the alien vessel they had detected. The electromagnetic signature shows clear signs of quantum field manipulation, one human scientist said. Whatever technology they are using to stay hidden, it operates on principles we have been theorizing about for years. Look at the energy readings we got during those 5 minutes, another added. The power output is enormous, but it is contained within a very specific field pattern. If we could understand how they create those fields, it would revolutionize our understanding of physics. Captain Hyunwoo felt sick. The humans were not panicking or hiding from the alien threat. They were trying to reverse engineer council technology from a few minutes of observation. Dr. Changmin, how much could they learn from what they saw? He asked. Changmin was already running calculations. More than they should be able to, but less than we fear, he replied carefully. They saw our energy signature and field patterns, but they could not see inside our ship or understand our control systems. Could they build their own stealth field from what they observed? Not immediately, but they now know such technology is possible, and they have some clues about how it works. For humans, that might be enough. So Young was studying her engineering reports from the failure. Captain, I found out what caused the power grid collapse. It was not equipment failure. Then what was it? Electromagnetic interference from Earth. Very subtle pulses targeted at specific frequencies. The pulses were designed to disrupt quantum field generators. Everyone on the bridge stared at her. That is impossible, Min-ae said. Humans do not know about quantum field technology. They do now, So Young replied grimly. But this interference started 3 days ago, before our stealth field failed. They were already trying to disrupt technology they could not see. You mean they were scanning for us specifically? Hyunwoo asked. It looks that way. They were using electromagnetic pulses to search for invisible objects in space. When they found field disturbances in our location, they increased the intensity until our generators overloaded. Dr. Changmin was shaking his head in disbelief. They detected us using technology they invented themselves, based on theories they developed without any outside help. Jae-hyun interrupted with more reports from Earth. Captain, the human response is getting organized. Multiple governments are coordinating their efforts. They are pooling data from every telescope and sensor that detected us. What are they planning to do? They are trying to predict where we will be next, and they are building more powerful sensors to penetrate stealth fields. Min-ae pulled up her behavioral analysis. This matches human patterns. When they encounter a new challenge, they do not study it slowly. They attack it from multiple directions at once. How long before they can detect us again? Hyunwoo asked So Young. Unknown. Our stealth field is working normally now, but if they keep improving their detection methods... She shrugged. Maybe days, maybe weeks. Human technology development is too unpredictable to estimate. The captain looked at his crew. All of them seemed shaken by what had happened. The Council's most advanced stealth technology had been defeated by a species that did not even know aliens existed a week ago. Changmin, begin analysis of everything the humans learned from our exposure. I want to know exactly what they can do with that information. Yes, Captain. Jae-hyun, monitor all human communications about our sighting. I want hourly reports on their progress. Understood. So Young, run complete diagnostics on all systems. If the humans can interfere with our stealth field, they might be able to affect other technologies too. Already started, Captain. Hyunwoo sat back in his chair and looked at Earth. The blue planet looked the same as before, but everything had changed. The humans knew they were being watched. Worse, they were starting to understand how the Watchers stayed hidden. Min-ae, start preparing a priority report for the Council, he said. They need to know that first contact protocols may be completely inadequate for this species. What should I tell them? Hyunwoo thought for a moment. Tell them that we tried to hide our technology from the humans, but in less than 5 minutes of observation they began figuring out how to recreate it. And tell them that hiding from humans might be impossible, So Young added. They are too curious and too clever to ignore things they cannot explain. As the Void Whisper continued its orbit, now visible to anyone who knew where to look, the crew realized their mission had completely changed. They were no longer secret observers studying a primitive species. They were the subjects of study by minds that worked faster and more creatively than anyone in the galaxy had imagined possible. On Earth's surface, human scientists worked through the night, sharing data and theories about the alien ship they had detected. They had only seen it for a few minutes, but those minutes had given them enough information to start a technological revolution. 3 days later, the crew of the Void Whisper had learned more about humans than they wanted to know. Captain Hyunwoo sat in his chair and rubbed his tired eyes. The reports his officers brought him grew more disturbing each day. "Captain," Jae-hyun said, walking onto the bridge with a stack of papers, "I have finished translating more of their scientific communications. You need to see this." Hyunwoo took the papers and began reading. The first document was from a human university. Scientists there were discussing something they called quantum entanglement theory. The mathematics looked familiar, too familiar. "Where did they get these equations?" Hyunwoo asked. "They developed them themselves," Jae-hyun replied. "This paper was published just 2 months ago. But Captain, that is not the strangest part. Look at this." He handed over another paper. This one talked about dimensional fold manipulation and space-time compression methods. The theories were crude compared to galactic technology, but they were pointing in the right direction. "This is impossible," Hyunwoo said. "These concepts should take centuries to develop. How are they figuring this out so fast?" Dr. Chang-min appeared beside them. He had been spending all his time studying human science. His usual neat appearance was gone. His hair stuck up in all directions, and his clothes were wrinkled. "I have been asking myself the same question," Chang-min said, "so I decided to study how humans think, not just what they think about." "What did you find?" Min-ae asked, joining their conversation. "Humans do not think like other species," Chang-min explained. "Most aliens develop ideas slowly and carefully. They test each step many times before moving to the next one. Humans do something completely different." He pulled out a chart showing human scientific progress. "Look at this timeline. Humans make wild guesses, then test dozens of ideas at the same time. Most of their ideas fail, but they do not seem to care. They just try something else." "That sounds wasteful," So Young commented from her engineering station. "That is what I thought too," Chang-min agreed. "But it is not wasteful at all. By testing many ideas quickly, they find the right answers much faster than species who are more careful." Hyunwoo studied the chart. Human progress looked chaotic, with lines going in all directions. But the overall pattern showed steady advancement toward more advanced concepts. "There is something else," Chang-min continued. "I have been studying their entertainment media, their movies, books, and television shows." "Why would you waste time on their entertainment?" Min-ae asked. "Because their entertainment is not just for fun. It is how they explore ideas that are too dangerous to test in real life. Look at this." Chang-min showed them summaries of human science fiction stories. Tales about faster-than-light travel, artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and time manipulation filled the pages. "These are not just fantasy stories," Chang-min explained. "Many of their ideas are scientifically accurate. They are using imagination to work out problems they cannot solve in their laboratories yet." Jae-hyun nodded. "I have noticed that too. Their fiction often becomes reality within a few decades. They wrote about satellites before they built them. They described computers before they invented them." "So they are using stories to predict their own future?" Hyunwoo asked. "More than predict," Chang-min said. "They are using stories to plan their future. When human scientists read these tales, they get inspired to make them real." Engineer So Young looked up from her instruments. "Captain, I have been monitoring Earth's electromagnetic signals like you asked. Something strange is happening." "What kind of strange?" "Their radio telescopes are scanning space in very specific patterns. Not random searching like we would expect from a primitive species. They seem to be looking for something particular." She put the scanning patterns on the main screen. Instead of sweeping back and forth across the sky, human telescopes were focusing on small areas for long periods of time. "What are they looking for?" Min-ae wondered. "I am not sure," So Young replied. "But the frequencies they are using, some of them are very close to the ones our quantum field generators produce." A chill went down Hyunwoo's spine. "Are you saying they know we are here?" "I do not think so. But they seem to be searching for exactly the kind of signals our technology would make if it were not perfectly hidden." Jae-hyun was listening to his headphones again. Suddenly he sat up straight. "Captain, you need to hear this. It is a conversation between human scientists." He put the audio on the bridge speakers. Human voices spoke in their strange language, but the translation came through clearly. The electromagnetic readings from Sector 7 are still showing those unusual patterns, one human said. Could be equipment noise, another replied. No, I have checked everything 3 times. There is definitely something there. Something that appears and disappears in regular intervals. Like what? I do not know yet. But the frequency matches some of our theoretical models for quantum field disturbances. The conversation continued, but Hyunwoo stopped listening. He turned to So Young. How accurate are our stealth field generators? Perfect, according to all specifications, So Young replied. But she looked worried. However, the small fluctuations I mentioned earlier are still happening. They are getting slightly stronger each day. Could the humans be causing those fluctuations? I still do not see how. They do not have the technology. Dr. Chang Min interrupted them. Maybe they do not have the technology, but they might have. The theory. Captain, I have been reading more of their scientific papers. Some human researchers are working on something they call quantum vacuum manipulation. What is that supposed to mean? I think they are trying to detect invisible objects by measuring tiny changes in space itself. If they succeed, our stealth field would not protect us. Minnie pulled up her psychological profiles of human behavior. This matches the pattern I have been observing. Humans do not wait until they understand something completely before they try to use it. They experiment with partial knowledge and learn by doing. That is extremely dangerous, So Young said. Quantum field manipulation can destroy entire planets, if done incorrectly. But it can also lead to breakthroughs much faster than safe methods, Changmin added. Humans seem willing to take risks that other species avoid. Jae Hyun was monitoring more communications from Earth. Captain, I am picking up increased chatter from their military organizations. They are talking about unusual atmospheric readings and unidentified orbital signatures. Are they talking about us? Hyun-woo asked. I cannot be certain, but they are definitely looking for something in the area where we are hiding. The bridge fell silent as everyone considered what this meant. The humans were not supposed to be able to detect them. Council technology was far beyond anything these primitive creatures should understand. There is one more thing, Changmin said quietly. I have been analyzing human brain scan data from their medical research. The structure of human brains is unusual. Unusual how? Most alien brains are organized for careful, logical thinking. Human brains seem designed for making connections between unrelated ideas. They can see patterns that other species miss, but they also make mistakes that other species would never make. So they are unpredictable, Minnie summarized. More than unpredictable, Changmin replied. They are creative in ways that might be impossible for other species. They solve problems by thinking about them differently, not just thinking about them longer. Captain Hyun-woo looked down at Earth again. The planet seemed less peaceful now. Those chaotic cities suddenly looked more threatening. The random patterns of human civilization now seemed like signs of minds that worked in ways the galaxy had never seen before. Continue monitoring everything, he ordered, and prepare a detailed report for the Council. They need to know that humans are not like other species we have encountered. As the Void Whisper continued its hidden orbit, the crew worked to understand the strange creatures below. But with each passing hour, it became more clear that the humans might be understanding them in return. Dr. Changmin stared at his computer screen for the 100th time that day. The equation glowing in front of him represented thousands of years of Galactic Council scientific development. It described the relationship between quantum consciousness, fields, and dimensional energy manipulation. Most Council species took centuries just to understand what the symbols meant. He was about to make a decision that could change galactic history. Changmin, what are you doing? Captain Hyun-woo asked, walking over to the science station. You have been working on that same equation for hours. Captain, I want to try something, Changmin said without looking away from his screen. The humans are already trying to understand our technology from what they saw during the stealth field failure. Maybe we should give them a real test. What kind of test? Changmin pointed to his equation. This formula is one of the most complex concepts in quantum field theory. According to all our psychological models, it should be impossible for humans to understand it. They lack the mathematical framework, the cultural background, and the time needed to decode it. So why do you want to show it to them? Because if I am right about how human minds work, they will surprise us again. And if I am wrong, no harm is done. They will just ignore something they cannot understand. Hyunwoo considered this. Council protocols strictly forbade sharing advanced technology with primitive species. But the protocols had been written for species that developed slowly and predictably. Humans did not fit any of the normal patterns. How would you send it to them? A simple mathematical transmission. No explanation, no context. Just the pure equation transmitted to their radio telescopes. If they can solve it, we learn something important about their capabilities. Min-ai had been listening to their conversation. The council will not approve of this, she warned. Sharing classified scientific information with an uncontacted species violates every rule we have. The humans have already seen our technology in operation, Changmin replied. They are going to figure out quantum field manipulation with or without our help. At least this way, we can see how fast they really are. Hyunwoo made his decision. Do it. Send them the equation. Changmin's fingers moved over his control panel. The quantum communicator powered up and transmitted the mathematical formula toward Earth's largest radio telescope arrays. The message was simple, just numbers and symbols with no explanation. Message sent, Changmin reported. Now we wait. How long do you think it will take them to respond? So Young asked. If they can understand it at all, maybe 6 months, Changmin guessed. The mathematics are extremely complex. Even our best scientists need weeks to work through all the implications. Jae-hyun was monitoring Earth's communication channels. The message has been received by 12 different human observatories. They are already sharing it with universities around the planet. Good, Hyunwoo said. Now we see what they can do with it. The crew returned to their normal duties, but everyone kept thinking about the test. Would the humans ignore the strange mathematical message? Would they spend years trying to decode it? Or would they do something completely unexpected? 17 minutes later, Jae-hyun jumped up from his station. Captain, we are receiving a transmission from Earth. What kind of transmission? A mathematical response to the equation we sent. But Captain, it is not just a solution. They sent back 3 different variations that improve on the original design. The bridge fell silent. Changmin slowly walked over to Jae-hyun's station and looked at the incoming data. His face went pale as he read the human response. This is impossible, he whispered. They have not just solved the equation. They have found flaws in our approach and corrected them. Are you sure? Hyunwoo demanded. Changmin ran the human mathematics through the ship's computers. The results appeared on the main screen. Their first variation increases energy efficiency by 12%. The second one reduces dimensional instability by 30%. The third one... He paused, checking his calculations again. The third one suggests applications I had never considered. What kind of applications? Consciousness transfer between dimensional layers. Direct manipulation of space-time fabric. Theoretical possibilities that our scientists have not even dreamed about yet. Engineer So Young was studying the data too. Captain, according to these calculations, human approaches to quantum field manipulation could be more advanced than ours in some ways. How is that possible? They think about the problems differently than we do, Changmin explained. We approach quantum theory step by step, building on thousands of years of gradual development. Humans seem to see the whole picture at once and work backward to find the details. Min-ai was running psychological analyses of the human response time. 17 minutes, she said. They solved and improved upon our most complex scientific theory in 17 minutes. Maybe they had help, Hyunwoo suggested. Maybe they have been working on these concepts for years. Jae-hyun shook his head. I have been monitoring their communications since we arrived. Until today, no human scientist had ever seen mathematics like this. They developed their solutions from scratch. More messages were coming from Earth. Jae-hyun put them on the main screen. Human scientists were sending additional mathematical proofs, theoretical applications, and requests for more complex problems to solve. They are treating it like a game, So Young observed. They enjoy solving difficult puzzles. It is more than that, Changmin said. Look at how they are sharing their solutions. Every human research team is building on what the others discovered. They are advancing their understanding collectively, faster than any single group could manage alone. That is not how most species work, Minnie noted. Usually different groups compete and keep their discoveries secret. Humans do compete, Jae-hyun said, listening to Earth communications. But they also cooperate in ways that seem impossible. They argue about everything, but when faced with a truly interesting problem, they work together. Captain Hyun-woo was beginning to understand something that terrified him. Changmin, based on what you have seen today, how long would it take humans to develop their own quantum field technology? Changmin ran calculations on his computer. If they continue at this pace, maybe months instead of centuries. They have already grasped the theoretical foundations. The practical engineering might take longer, but not much longer. And if we gave them access to more advanced galactic knowledge, they would probably surpass us within decades. Their approaches are so different from ours that they would likely discover things we have missed entirely. Suddenly, new signals started coming from Earth. Jae-hyun listened to his headphones with growing amazement. Captain, the humans are sending us location coordinates. What do you mean? They have calculated our exact position based on the transmission delay from their radio telescopes. They know precisely where we are. So Young checked her instruments. That should be impossible. Even with the coordinates, our stealth field should keep us hidden. They are also sending suggested communication frequencies, Jae-hyun continued. Quantum frequencies that our stealth field should not be able to block. How do they know about quantum communication protocols? Minnie asked. They figured it out from the equation we sent them, Changmin realized. The mathematical principles for quantum field manipulation are the same ones used for quantum communication. They worked backward from the science to the technology. Captain Hyun-woo sat down heavily in his chair. Everything the council thought it knew about first contact was wrong. The protocols assumed that advanced civilizations would always be dealing with primitive ones that needed careful guidance and protection. But humans were not primitive. They were a different kind of advanced. They developed technology through intuition and creativity rather than patient accumulation of knowledge. They shared information freely and built on each other's discoveries. They solved problems by thinking about them in completely new ways. Jae-hyun, are they trying to establish formal communication? Yes, Captain. They are broadcasting mathematical greetings and invitations to dialogue. They seem excited about the possibility of talking with us. Not afraid? Some of them are, but most seem thrilled. They have been dreaming about meeting aliens for generations. Now that it is happening, they want to learn everything they can. Hyun-woo looked around at his crew. All of them appeared stunned by what they had witnessed. In one day, humans had demonstrated intellectual capabilities that challenged everything. The Galactic Council believed about technological development. Minnie, prepare an emergency report for the Council, he ordered. Tell them that traditional first contact protocols are inadequate for this species. What should I recommend instead? Hyun-woo thought about the human responses to their test. Creative, collaborative, fearless, and incredibly fast. These were not qualities that could be managed or controlled through normal diplomatic channels. Tell them that humans represent either the galaxy's greatest opportunity or its most dangerous threat. And tell them that we need to make contact immediately, before the humans figure out how to contact us. As if responding to his words, the ship's communication system chimed with an incoming message. On the screen appeared symbols in perfect Galactic Council mathematical language. Captain Hyun-woo stood before the communication console, staring at the message from Earth. The humans had not only figured out Galactic Council mathematical language, they had used it to send a polite invitation to talk. Everything about this situation violated every first contact protocol ever written. Captain, Jae-hyun said quietly. We are receiving a priority transmission from Nexus Prime. The call from the Galactic Council's homeworld had taken 2 days to reach them. Hyunwoo activated the secure channel and the holographic image of Council Leader Zara K appeared above the communication platform. Her expression was stern, and her voice carried the authority of 12 allied civilizations. Captain Hyunwoo, the Council Leader began, we have received your preliminary reports about the human species. The information you have provided is deeply troubling. Yes, Council Leader, the situation has become much more complex than originally anticipated. Complex is an understatement. Your reports suggest that humans may represent the most dangerous, first contact scenario in galactic history. A species that can reverse engineer quantum field technology from brief observation, solve advanced mathematical theories in minutes, and coordinate global responses within hours. Dr. Chang-min stepped forward. Council Leader, with respect, I believe we should focus on the opportunities this presents, not just the dangers. Opportunities? The hologram flickered with what might have been surprise. Dr. Chang-min, you are describing a species that could destabilize the entire galactic order within decades of first contact, or a species that could advance galactic science by centuries, Chang-min replied firmly. Their approaches to quantum theory are more elegant than ours. Their mathematical frameworks reach conclusions we have never considered. If we could work with them instead of trying to control them, that is exactly what we cannot allow. Council Leader Zara K interrupted. The balance of power that has kept the galaxy peaceful for thousands of years depends on controlled technological development. Humans threaten that balance. Minnie had been preparing psychological profiles during the conversation with Nexus Prime. Now she spoke up. Council Leader, traditional containment strategies will not work with humans. Their curiosity is too strong, their communication networks too extensive. If we try to hide from them or limit their development, they will find ways around our restrictions. Then what do you recommend? Captain Hyunwoo looked at his crew. All of them had spent weeks studying human civilization. All of them had reached similar conclusions about these strange, brilliant, chaotic creatures. I recommend immediate diplomatic contact, Hyunwoo said. Full disclosure and partnership, not management. The silence from Nexus Prime lasted so long that they wondered if the transmission had been cut. Finally, Council Leader Zara K spoke again. That recommendation goes against 10,000 years of Council policy. We do not make primitive species our partners. We guide them slowly toward civilization. Humans are not primitive, Engineer So Young said. Their technology is different from ours, but in some ways it is more advanced. They have already begun building quantum field generators using methods completely different from Council designs. What do you mean? So Young brought up her engineering reports. Human scientists have been sharing their research openly since our first contact. I have been monitoring their progress. Instead of copying our energy patterns, they are creating their own designs based on their mathematical improvements to our equations. Show me, the Council Leader commanded. So Young displayed Earth's electromagnetic signatures on the screen. Here are readings from 12 different human research facilities. Each one is experimenting with quantum field manipulation using unique approaches. Some use crystalline matrices, others employ plasma containment, still others work with magnetic resonance techniques we have never seen. Are any of their methods successful? 3 facilities have achieved stable quantum fields, crude ones but stable, and their efficiency is improving every day. Dr. Chang-min added more data. Council Leader, human development is accelerating. Each breakthrough leads to 10 more experiments. Each success gets shared with researchers around their planet. At their current rate of progress, they will achieve faster than light capability within years, not decades. And they will do it with or without our help, Minnie concluded. The only choice we have is whether to work with them as allies or oppose them as enemies. Council Leader Zara K was silent again. When she spoke, her voice was troubled. The implications of what you are telling me affect every member species of the Council. I cannot make this decision alone. We understand, Hyunwoo replied. But while you deliberate, the humans continue advancing. Every day we wait, they become more capable of reaching the stars on their own terms. Jae-hyun interrupted with another message from Earth. Captain, the humans are requesting a formal diplomatic response to their earlier communication. They are offering to share their research in exchange for cultural and scientific dialogue. They want to trade knowledge? The council leader asked. More than that, Jae-hyun replied. They are offering to help solve galactic problems. Listen to this. He played a recorded message from Earth. A human voice spoke in carefully constructed, mathematical language. We have detected signs of quantum instability in your ship's energy systems. Our calculations suggest simple modifications that could improve efficiency by 40%. We offer these improvements as a gesture of friendship and cooperation. So Young quickly checked her instruments. They are correct. The modifications they suggest would solve several engineering problems I have been working on for months. How could they diagnose our technical problems from long distance? The council leader demanded. By analyzing the quantum signatures we emit, Chang-min explained. They have learned to read our technology better than we can in some cases. Their outside perspective lets them see solutions we miss. The communication from Nexus Prime fell silent for several minutes. Captain Hyun-woo could imagine the emergency sessions that must be taking place on the council world. Representatives from 12 different species all trying to decide how to handle a situation no one had anticipated. Finally, council leader Zara K returned. The council has reached a preliminary decision. We will authorize limited diplomatic contact, but with strict conditions. What kind of conditions? Hyun-woo asked. You will act as our official representatives. No technology transfers beyond basic communication protocols. No information about other council species or galactic politics. And if humans prove to be a threat to galactic stability, you will implement containment procedures immediately. Minnie shook her head. Council leader, containment will not work. Humans do not respond well to restrictions. If we try to limit their access to information, they will become suspicious and potentially hostile. Then what do you suggest? Dr. Chang-min had the answer. Complete transparency. Share everything. Let them see what galactic civilization looks like and decide for themselves if they want to be part of it. That is incredibly risky. Less risky than making enemies of the most creative and unpredictable species in the galaxy, Hyun-woo replied. Council leader, in our weeks of observation, we have learned that humans respond to trust with trust, but they respond to deception with determination to uncover the truth. Another long pause from Nexus Prime. Very well. You are authorized to make formal first contact. But Captain, if this decision proves wrong, the consequences will affect every world in the galaxy. The transmission ended, leaving the crew of the Void Whisper alone with the most important decision in galactic history. Jae-hyun looked up from his communication station. Captain, should I send a response to Earth? Hyun-woo thought about everything they had learned about humans. Their curiosity, creativity, cooperation, and fearless approach to the unknown. These creatures had already surprised the galaxy once. They would probably do it many more times. Yes, he said. Send this message. We acknowledge your capabilities. We accept your offer of friendship. We request formal diplomatic dialogue between your species and the Galactic Council. As Jae-hyun transmitted the message toward Earth, the crew watched their screens for the human response. It came within minutes, faster than any diplomatic reply in galactic history. Message received and understood, the humans replied. We are honored by your recognition. We look forward to learning about galactic civilization and sharing what we have learned about the universe. Welcome to our solar system. When would you like to visit our planet? Captain Hyun-woo smiled for the first time since arriving at Earth. The humans were not afraid of aliens visiting their world. They were excited about it. Jae-hyun, tell them we would be honored to visit at their convenience, he said. And tell them we have much to learn from each other. As messages flew between the Void Whisper and Earth, making arrangements for the first formal meeting between humans and galactic civilization, the crew realized they were witnessing the beginning of a new era. The galaxy would never be the same. On Earth's surface, human scientists and diplomats worked through the night, preparing for contact with an advanced alien civilization. They had been dreaming of this moment for generations,